What's up, Blockchain Gang? Sorry I'm not feeling very well today, which is why I'm coming to you in the form of this disembodied head. Today we're going to go over some tips and advice for playing multiple accounts in Mirror 4 to get you the most progress and profit. So let's hit it.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, oh, don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the chain. One more. Gang. Don't you know that's the sound of the man working on the chain. Gang.
The most up-to-date set of rules state that it's okay for a person to play up to 4 accounts at the same time. If you're watching this video in the distant future, please make sure to confirm this in their Discord server or forum, as it is subject to change, and I don't want to be responsible for Big Daddy Cheng busting out the ban hammer on your ass. Up to 2 accounts can be played on the native launcher and 1 on Steam, bringing the total on PC up to 3. And you can have 1 more on mobile or run all 4 on mobile at the same time. Personally, I would like to free up my computer power for video editing and stuff. So I like to transfer these accounts to old mobile devices that have been repurposed for NFT gaming when I'm done with everything that I need to do and it's time to AFK grind. Keep in mind that the device will require at least 4 gigabytes of internal RAM and at least a Snapdragon 820 processor or faster. This would be equivalent to the Samsung Galaxy S7 or the iPhone 7 running iOS 13. If you go into your device's app store, it should tell you if you're able to download the game or not, or if it's incompatible with your device. There is currently no rule against playing these accounts on the same server, but you carry the additional hazard of accidentally exchanging the items with each other for gold if you're not careful, and other people have had their accounts banned for this practice, which has become known as ghost trading. The advantages of being able to help out your alternate accounts in the same server is huge though, so that is a price I'm willing to pay, as you can help power level them, get them through quests to gain materials for upgrades, and protect them from the slightly more powerful assholes on the server. I would argue that none of these things are game breaking, as you could easily do all of them with another person, only the other person would have much more control over their character, so it's actually putting you at a mechanical disadvantage. To me, this feels like the most RPG thing that an MMO can do. Instead of managing a single character, you're managing 80% of a full party. This means that if you are 10% more efficient, it's multiplied 4 times over all of your accounts to show much more rapid advancement, which really pays when you min-max your gains. You're getting 4 times as much loot and epic or rare pulls, and you're not spending 4 times as much time. A reasonable price for progression is about $5 per day. Therefore, simply playing the game in order to sell the character as NFTs is making you $20 a day across all 4 accounts. If you also consider the fact that each account will eventually be able to start earning $5 per day from crafting, so you're up to $40 without considering any type of appreciation or depreciation. Some accounts will earn more than others, but by casting a larger net, you are gaining many more chances to get lucky and hit a big jackpot. Playing 4 characters adds many more layers of strategy due to the synergy each class brings, as well as helping out where each individual class struggles. This feels more like a Final Fantasy game than Final Fantasy XIV ever did. Playing 4 classes will build on your understanding of the mechanics and countering of each playstyle. When playing 1 or even 2 characters, I often got to the point on some days where I felt like I did everything that I could do and I still wanted more gameplay. One tip if you're playing in a party together is that some skills should be disabled on your weaker party members, such as a warrior's riposte or a sorceress's chain lightning, blizzard, and thunderstorm abilities, as they will draw aggro and get themselves killed. Another benefit from being in a party together is doing the missions, daily tasks, and requests. Melee characters who struggle to complete missions where there are dozens of other players doing the same thing will get support from their ranged allies. It's best to use the follow the target leader setting and have the character with the longest range as the party leader. This is usually a sorcerer, and as the monster walks to the sorcerer, the other 3 characters will burst it down before it's able to do any damage. As long as the party leader is set to auto-complete quests, the others will follow and complete their quests right along with them. But make sure they're not all using auto-quest functions so everyone will still focus on the party leader's target. You'll need to manually reset them when moving from one quest area to another, as this will often bug them out and stop them from following the party leader when they come to a portal. The best time to start an alt account is during an event such as this passing New Year's. By starting my 3rd and 4th accounts at that time, each one received about $200 of free rewards in the first week to put them at the same point where my main account was after nearly a month. Playing 4 accounts creates many political problems though. There have been times when my alt has been killed by somebody and I would have loved to retaliate with one of my stronger accounts, but doing so would expose them as my alt as well as anyone who they told. Then my weaker enemies could still hunt me down by destroying my alts and be a pain in my ass. It can be tough to keep track of all the relationship statuses of 4 characters that could appear to be 4 different people to everyone else. Sometimes it feels like I'm playing The Sims 4 and not Mir 4. I would recommend at least one of the characters be a Taoist. This will save your party massive amounts of copper due to requiring far less healing potions, and also the Taoist sees the largest jump in price due to having a level 8 greater heal because she can resurrect her allies. Awakening this ability will increase the value of it as an NFT anywhere from $500 to $1,000 when compared to a Taoist of the same power and level without that. The same thing cannot be said about a single ability from any other class. When doing the daily tasks such as gathering and mining, they can be completed together in 1/4 of the time as each character pitches in towards the progress. Some of the platforming sections for requests seem to be impossible on mobile, but as long as you are together in a party, only one person needs to get the item to complete the request for everyone. This means I can control one account and have the others follow it around with auto attack enabled. While it is true that helping my alts is slowing my main account's progression, once they're all caught up, I'll be able to grind in much tougher areas for better rewards, and my individual damage will go through the roof considering that all of my abilities will cause a bash the majority of the time. The extra utility these characters bring with crowd control is also great at reducing incoming damage until it is almost non-existent. The only regret I have about starting a 3rd and 4th account is not doing it sooner. Even if you only play for an hour a day, you would be getting 4 hours of manual progress with 4 accounts instead of 1, and you'll be gaining 4 times the progress in the other 23 hours while AFK. There is software that will allow you to cast your mobile phone onto your PC, but I have not found one yet that is free and that allows you to control the phone with the PC. This may have something to do with Mir 4's intentional lack of gamepad or mouse and keyboard support while playing on mobile. The best setup for me is to have 2 accounts in split screen mode using a wide monitor and a 3rd running through Steam on a 2nd monitor. I use the Windows key and the left or right arrows in order to resize them this way. Thank you for that tip, Francis J. Tomosa. Then I'll usually set the phone on a stand in front of the monitor so I can view all 4 accounts at the same time. Excel is really handy for tracking the market, so I always use it to track the minimum prices that I list items for. This way I know that if I sell rare platinum for 2.5 gold or higher, then any platinum listed below that is okay to buy with any of my accounts. If I lower my price on the market, then I would also lower it in Excel, so that way it's always up to date. The goal here is to get cheap prices, but also to avoid exchanging items with any of my other accounts that could cause the system to ban me for ghost trading. Now I may only be gaining 750,000 experience per hour, but remember I have a 100% drop rate and 30% lucky drop set. Not an experience set, or it would be closer to 1.5 million. Also, when you multiply those gains by 4, it's actually more like 3 million experience per hour spread out among the 4 accounts. And as the weakest accounts rapidly gain power, the rate will continue to increase over time. Since there are 4 jobs in the game, I have one focus on selling dark steel, one on ore, one on bushes, and the other meditating for energy. This way I'm spread out into different markets and not competing with myself for gold. Some people are complaining about the changes with the EXD market, considering it requires double the gold now, and you'll need to craft many more epic materials in order to fill the box. But it has also greatly increased the demand and price the boxes are going for on the market. By comparison, instead of crafting 200 epic materials in order to get 100 marketable items for the EXD box, you will now have to craft closer to 500 to fill up the same box. Another way to look at this now is that I'll be able to get my epic gears much faster. At the end of the month, it doesn't really matter if you made $50 from 10 days of playing or $150 from 30 days of playing, as it all breaks out even in the end. I just hope the price holds steady and doesn't continue to decline despite these new measures. The last thing I wanted to say is that you should try to do every single thing as a team whenever possible, even if it's only in smaller teams of 2. When you go to get your login rewards, collect the login rewards of all 4 accounts at the same time before doing anything else. When you donate or do your summons or unseal boxes or complete your daily tasks, if you do them as a team, you'll make sure that you don't get distracted and forget to do something on one of your accounts. And trust me, with 4 accounts, it is very easy to do. So it's best to come up with some sort of daily checklist and make sure you complete the item on all 4 accounts before marking it off and moving on to the next item. I'm currently working on a guide for Mystic pieces and a report on the new Hydra system that's being implemented. But you can help me decide the next projects that I work on by voting for your favorite one in the comments or writing your own suggestion. If you would like to sponsor that video by joining my Patreon for $5 a month, it will premiere ad-free for all viewers with a personal shout out. Thank you for watching. This is Danny Draghi, and I hope we can do this again sometime.